guys, what's going on? I'm Vile Self, and today I got some Call of Duty Ghosts solo domination gameplay where I don't get the greatest score overall, but I do lead my team to a glorious victory. I am using the MSBS, which in my opinion is one shitty ass assault rifle. I don't like it. It was hell of a grind getting 150 kills with no attachments with this gun. This gun is not a good running gun weapon. I'm a running gunner, so as you can see, that kind of contradicts my playstyle. But not contradicts, I should say conflicts my playstyle. But anyways, I am using attachments in this gameplay. I have the full auto attachment on, as well as the grip. And I find even with the grip, the recoil on this gun is ridiculous. And maybe I'm just not used to it yet. I'm having a hard time adapting to it. But I'm finding that, I'm definitely getting killed a lot more and failing at killing a lot more with this weapon. But anyways, this video is not about a gun. It's not about my playstyle. It's not about anything like that. This video is brought to you by a buddy of mine on Twitter. He's also on my PSN friends list. Exo Immunity. He was the guest, the winner of my last mystery quote challenge, which wasn't exactly a quote anyway. It was a picture that he guessed. But anyway, he won. He picked the topic for this video, and the topic is Assassin's Creed 5 Unity. First and foremost, I'd like you guys to follow my buddy on Twitter at ExoImmunity. Follow him, talk video games with him. He's a fan of Assassin's Creed, he's a fan of Call of Duty, and he's a gamer just like everybody else who is associated with my channel, pretty much. But anyways, he wants a video about the next Assassin's Creed game that is currently in the works. So I dug up some information on this game. There wasn't a whole lot about it, but I'm going to do my best to, shed some light on what we do know and what we can expect from the next Assassin's Creed game. So, from what we know, the next game takes place amid the French Revolution between 1789 and 1799. So basically, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the French Revolution and what it's about, and perhaps it can give us some insight as to what the next Assassin's Creed game might be about, or what it might be centered around, or have to do with. Just basically give us an idea of maybe what to look forward to. So, the French Revolution took place during the reign of King Louis XVI, and it was a time of immense conflict between the poor and the rich. At that time, they were known as peasants and the nobles. It's basically one of the most classic examples of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, which even to this day is still, a phrase that's spoken, with oppression and, even like 1% of the world's population holding the largest share of the wealth in the world. It's basically an ongoing thing, but the French Revolution is one of the most classic scenarios of that. But basically, as for an example, anyone who wasn't a noble had to pay taxes to the nobles, they had to pay taxes to the king, and they had to pay taxes to the church. The nobles themselves, however, were exempt from paying most of these taxes. So basically, the nobles are sitting there collecting money from all the poor people, and the poor people who are already poor are basically giving all of their earnings to the rich people, basically for no reason. During this time, common items such as a loaf of bread was extremely expensive and cost as much as a week's worth of wages for a peasant, and many of them were dying of starvation simply because they couldn't afford even the cheapest of all foods. Meanwhile, the nobles are living all high and mighty and comfortable in their mansions with all their food and fully clothed in fancy outfits and stuff like that. And basically, it was a complete unbalanced scenario in France back in the late 18th century. The revolution was basically when the peasants decided that they'd had enough, and they fought back by storming the largest prison in Paris called La Bastille in pursuit of weapons and gunpowder, and also in an attempt to free any peasants that were wrongfully imprisoned there, in which they freed a small number of peasants. I believe it was like less than 10 of them were freed. But that was in the main city of Paris. In the more rural parts of France, Other revolutionaries were attacking the manors and estates of all the nobles who occupied them, and the revolutionaries took power in France, and things were drastically changed. Over 10,000 African slaves were freed. Protestant and Jewish religions that were illegal up until that point finally became legal, and there was basically a restoration of balance within the country, and basically an equality within the people, where the poor people were not treated differently as the rich people anymore, and things were more on a level playing field and more equal. And the revolution was basically the start of a new era in France. During the French Revolution, during the reign of terror of King Louis XVI, an estimated number of between 18,000 and 40,000 people were executed by guillotine. Now, that just seems like somebody's just going off on a power binge. Basically, if you're in a span of 10 years, if you're executing upwards of 40,000 people by chopping off their head, I think you're going a little crazy. I think you're kind of jumping the gun a little bit on, capital punishment. But I mean, that's how things were back then. And me personally, I'm just wondering what the hell they did with all those heads. Did they bury? What do you do with 30,000 heads? Do you bury them? Do you burn them? Do you throw them in a ditch somewhere? Throw them in a lake? I have no idea. But I mean, that to me is just crazy. I couldn't believe that number, 40,000. I mean, that's an estimated number, and that's the highest estimate. But I mean, even 18,000 over the course of 10 years is a lot of people's heads to be chopped off. But anyways, now I'll get on to some more, facts of what we do know about the actual Assassin's Creed game, and what it might be like. All that French Revolution stuff I just talked about was basically just giving you some ideas of what the game might be centered around and what type of atmosphere we might be able to expect in the game. So from what we know, the lead character in Assassin's Creed Unity is named Orno. The game appears to have a new parkour system within the mechanics, and parkour seems to be a new trending type of thing in video games lately. With Titanfall has a parkour mechanic, Dying Light, which isn't released yet, it also has a parkour mechanic. Even Infamous Second Son, the way you can scale buildings and stuff like that's very parkour-esque. Seems to be just a trending thing in video games these days for next gen consoles. But anyways, the game has been in development for 3 years already, and it's basically going to be available for next gen platforms only. But there's rumors that another Assassin's Creed is possibly in the works for the 360 and PS3. And from what I've read, and this is just rumors with no real credible sources, from what I've read, if there is a PS3 and 360 Assassin's Creed game coming, it's not going to be the same as Assassin's Creed Unity, but it could possibly take place in the same time frame and the same storyline as Assassin's Creed Unity, and it could have crossover elements between the two titles. Basically the same scenario but played through another character, which I think is pretty cool, although having one game on last gen consoles and one game on current gen consoles is kind of weird to me. But who knows what they're going to do. Assassin's Creed Unity is scheduled to be released in the fourth quarter of this year, just in time for the holiday season. And, I'm expecting to see some stuff from Assassin's Creed Unity at E3 this year. You could probably bank on that. Chances are it's going to be at the PlayStation event, seeing as Ubisoft, as of late anyway, has tended to favor the PlayStation side of the consoles, seeing as Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs both have exclusive content on the PS4. You'd think that Assassin's Creed 5 Unity will kind of follow the same suit. I could be wrong. That's just a educated guess by myself, but I'm expecting to see some Assassin's Creed Unity at the PlayStation conference at E3 this year. So if you're a fan of Assassin's Creed and you're looking forward to this game, pay attention to E3 this year. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some Assassin's Creed stuff on there. And needless to say, it definitely is looking like a good game. If you guys haven't seen the teaser previews, the teaser trailer yet, go check it out. The graphics look amazing. It's definitely one of the prettiest looking next-gen games that we've seen so far, and you know it's probably going to be a big step forward in the realm of Assassin's Creed, especially if they're adding new game mechanics and stuff like that. So that's basically all the information I have about this game. It's not a lot of information, but it's basically all we know so far. As I said, the video came as part to you by my buddy Exo Immunity. Please follow him on Twitter and you'll give him a shout. And if you guys want a shout out in my videos or you want to help me choose a topic for one of my videos, give me a follow on Twitter. Pay attention to my mystery quote challenges. They're really easy, guys. I don't even care if you Google the answers or whatever. That's what most people probably do anyways. But yeah, you get a free shout out and you get to choose the topic. And you know, some people are even choosing, you know, what games they want me to play. Some, like my last video, my boy Waffles wanted to see some Battlefield single player, so I played some Battlefield single player for him and gave him that commentary, and he really enjoyed it. You know, he was thanking me and stuff like that. And you know, it's all in good fun. I enjoy doing these videos, guys. And I'm sorry I don't put more stuff up on my channel. I am a busy guy. I'm doing a lot of things. Right now I'm in the middle of customizing a PS4 controller. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just haven't got around to it. But I bought a secondary controller, so I took my first controller all apart and began to paint it. And I'm really excited to show you guys what the final product's going to look like. I've been taking progress pictures, so I'll post all that stuff for you guys once it's all finalized. But that's the end of this video now, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please follow my boy, follow me on Twitter, and stay tuned for the next video. VileSelf out.